It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans. And this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, which is a couple of blocks down from Napoleon Avenue in Uptown New Orleans, where they have a 4-hour happy hour here every day with half-price bar food and half-price drinks. That's every day, every single day. And also they have a brunch on the weekends, which I believe is technically Saturday and Sunday. Happy Hour is brought to us today by Door Furniture for the last 80 years. Door Furniture has been serving retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area from its home base on Elysian Fields in the Marigny, as well as finest quality furniture from brands like Stickley and Century and Flex Steel. Doors designers can go to your house and customize pieces for your home, from slipcover sofas to dining room tables. If you're on the North Shore, Door recently opened a second location in Covington, and Door is as New Orleans as it gets, by the way, in case you're wondering about that. Thanks also to Strategic Resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume, your LinkedIn profile, or other job search skills, start at Strategic Resumes. And if you want to get away, start your search by checking in with Travel Central in Metairie. Andrew Duhon is not here today. He's on the road somewhere. If you'd like to find him, check him out at andrewduhon.com. His new album, False River, is out now. You can find it wherever you steal music from. And thanks to our Patreon subscribers. If you'd like to be one of our Patreon family, go to patreon.com and search for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And for as little as $1 a month, you too can be part of our Happy Hour family. And here is our Happy Hour family today. Josh Benitez is here. Josh, how's it going?
Oh, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I'm glad you made it.
Thanks for having me.
Josh is a singer and songwriter, both.
That's right.
It's a double threat.
That's right.
What came first?
I guess I was just really terrible at both for a long time.
And how are you now out of 10?
I'm all right. You know, I like to think I'm pretty good.
Out of 10, like, would you be?
I get paid to do it, so.
You get paid to sing and write songs?
Yeah, so.
That is impressive.
I'm not sure why they do it, but, you know, that's what happens.
Well, you're not sure why? Well, we'll try to get to the bottom of that. Margee Green is here as well, spelled M-A-R-G-E-E.
That's correct.
And how do people know that it's not Margee, like I assume?
Well, I've talked to people before who study phonetics, and I basically said, did my mom do it right? And they said that there's not really a way to spell that name the way I want it pronounced, but we got it as close as you can.
Margee.
So, Margee, yeah.
What about if you had an H after the G? It would be more
Yeah,
obvious.
That would be like
butter.
Yeah, that would actually mar in Hindi. Please, God, no one correct me. Just let it go.
Nobody
if
would,
I'm
because
wrong,
no one on the internet tries to correct anyone.
Right, that's true. It's not a thing.
Right,
is
that's
that
totally
mar means much and ghee means butter, so it
More
would be
butter.
Potentially offensive. You
Why?
know, well, I don't know that more butter is really a thing that I would
Who
to be defined by.
Who would be offended? What could be wrong with
some
more
sort of
butter?
Hindi Paula Deen thing. It's very more butter.
Mo butter.
It seems like a
It's
Paula
like
Deen catchphrase, which I don't know that I want to be associated
I
with.
thought it was more like a rap name, like
a rap
Lil Wayne.
Oh.
Mo butter.
Yeah, I guess I can see
I'm
that.
going to write it on the
there's not
tablecloth right now.
There's not a culture of rappers going by more anything, but maybe it's the next wave.
Isn't there?
I don't think there's a
Isn't
more.
there Mo someone or
There's little
Most
and
deaf.
big.
What's
most
that?
deaf, yeah. That's most. That's superlative.
That's different.
It's superlative.
It's not like Mo butter. I'm writing Mo butter down because I think we could be onto something. And Jacques Hebert is here as well. Jacques, how's it going? Well, I should say, by the way, Jacques, welcome to Happy Hour.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's great to meet you. But first of all, I should say that Margee, you know what Margee does? Margee's like a radical flower farmer. Would that be a fair description?
I would love that description. Yeah, I try to be radical, and then in all aspects of life, and then I'm a flower farmer.
Yeah, that is amazing. Where is your flower farm, actually?
I'm out in New Orleans East. So out.
You have an actual farm that grows
actual
flowers.
farm. Yep, actual farm that grows flowers.
That is pretty wild. Do you grow anything? Josh, do you grow weed or anything?
No. I have a golden pothos like everyone else.
A golden what?
It's a plant that you basically can't kill.
Is that right,
It's
Margee?
correct. It's a plant that can live in full darkness with no water
Yeah.
for a year.
Jacques is in the business of agriculture, horticulture sort of as well.
Sort of. Well, we love flowers. Obviously,
on
they're
with
good for birds and butterflies and other wildlife. But we're really focusing on growing land in Louisiana, wetlands. Yeah, so
Thank you.
Large scale
Jacques,
stuff.
what's it called? The Restore the Mississippi River Delta Coalition.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
you get paid for that as well.
We get paid to educate people about what's happening to Louisiana's coast and what needs to be done to protect as much of it as possible. So I work with Audubon Louisiana, hence the plants and birds connection. But we're part of a group of a bunch of NGOs, National Wildlife Federation, Environmental Defense Fund, Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation, which a lot of people know, and Coalition Restore Coastal Louisiana. And we work, Louisiana's losing a football field of land every 100 minutes.
Is that still true?
It is. It is. In fact, it used to be...
Football field
Gets
of land
worse,
every
right?
100 minutes.
It used to be an hour, or every hour, but it slowed down slightly. And the only reason is because we haven't had any major hurricanes. But anytime we have a hurricane, it could accelerate
So
tremendously.
we've gone from a football field every hour now to a football field every 90 minutes.
100.
100.
Yeah.
100, sorry.
An hour and
100.
40 minutes. Cool. That's almost twice the length of time it took before.
That's true.
That's great.
What are we trying to get it down to? A football field
Well,
every...
Yeah,
3
ideally, we just need to put more land on the map, right, and try to protect what we have, which is going to be challenging. Again, hurricanes, our land's sinking, as anyone that drives around New Orleans knows. We have sea level rise to deal with, so our groups work a lot with state agencies, federal agencies, local governments, and corporations to try to get large-scale coastal restoration projects on the map. And there have been a lot that have been advanced. So the state's rebuilt its barrier islands in some places. It's done marsh creation, which is essentially pumping sediment into marshes to rebuild them.
And is this working, this stuff? Are we actually making more land? If you look at the map, because if you look at the map, it used to be like this sort of the L shape, and now it's all sort of being eaten away. Every time you look at it, it looks like there's less of it there. Are we actually making a difference with these projects?
Absolutely. I mean, there's
I know you have to say that,
well, no,
but are we really?
There's no doubt that, we're kind of in this really precarious situation. But we like to take people out on planes and flyovers and so that they can see themselves like, hey, here's an area that is severely degraded. A lot of areas around New Orleans, unfortunately, are, and heading out into New Orleans East and,
Right.
Bayou Bienvenue, Wetland Triangle, and those areas. But then here are some areas that have been restored. And so we need more of this, right? We have a lot of constraints, time, funding.
Right. But are we fighting a losing... I'm not trying to be defeatist about this and say give up or anything, but are we fighting a losing battle and maybe we should come up with some other plan, like learn to live with the water and build around it?
So we have to do all of those things, right? I mean, we have to, within New Orleans, we're protected by levees, but levees aren't going to protect us enough. As we've seen
Right.
with Hurricane Katrina, they're the last line of defense, and we need our coastal wetlands as the first lines of defense. So we need that. We need to consider where can homes be elevated? How can we better integrate water management practices within the confines of our city? So it's...
But Jacques, suppose we just quit. I mean, you wouldn't have to quit because you're the communications director, right?
I am, yes.
So you just have to come up with a way to sell this idea. This is my idea. What if we just quit doing all this and we just moved everything back? I mean, it's not going to erode everything right back to Colorado, is it? So we've got to stop somewhere.
There's a lot of stuff here, right? And so this show, we're celebrating, the culture and the people of New Orleans and coastal Louisiana, because it's not just New Orleans, of course. There's a lot of infrastructure. There's ports, and the nation can't just give up, right? We
But
can't
what
just
if
give
we
up.
did, though?
Well,
How
what's that?
far-
There's that silly, I'm going to say it wrong. There's that, silly Tennessee Williams quote or whatever that's like, I think it's quite cheesy, but it's something along the lines of, there's New Orleans and Los Angeles or New York or
San
something.
Francisco.
Everything else is
and everything
just-
else is just, whoever I'm
What
going
is
to
it?
offend.
What
It's
is
like
that saying?
Oklahoma or
Cleveland.
something. Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm butchering it, but basically, right?
C-Rock
If
will
we,
tell you.
right, if we give up, then we just. It'll come. There will be a point where we stop losing land, but
Right.
then we lost.
And the
New
point- I
Orleans.
mean,
Yeah, but what is that point going to be, though?
The state
Seriously.
has a coastal master plan that's based in science. It's leading science better than anywhere else in the country and potentially the world. You have people that are coming here from other parts of the world. And yes, of course, we hear about the Netherlands, and there are folks who do a lot of collaboration with the Netherlands in terms of how they've managed water. But people are looking at Louisiana and the work that we're doing here. And the thing is, Louisiana has the Mississippi River. 100 million tons of sediment come down the river every year. Other places along the coast don't have that. I mean, Miami doesn't have that, and so someone who's much, much more intelligent than me and who has been covering this issue for decades, Mark Schlefstein at the Times-Picayune, has said that New Orleans was founded because was the most defensible place closest to the mouth of the river, and it still is the most defensible place closest to the mouth of the river. And so, no, we can't, just save everything. Yes, the challenges are dire, but if we act now and we let science lead the way and get these projects, some of which have already, come online, if we continue to build those projects, we can kind of manage and seek to maintain as much as we can. And I don't know anyone that lives. Is anyone ready to give up on New Orleans? I don't.
No, but would we have to?
There are just certain institutions within it I'm ready to give up on, but not the
Sewage
city.
and water board, I could give up on that.
Like I could rattle off a list of enemies. No, I'm just kidding.
Who would you like to get rid of first?
Oh God, I don't even know. What would I like to get rid of first?
Seriously, if you could get rid of anything in New Orleans, what would it be first? I would say sewage and water board is top of the list.
I would say
my opinion.
some people at Sewage and Water Board. Probably
actual
we need
people.
a Sewage and Water Board.
Oh, okay, that's a good point.
Right? Yeah,
Josh, who
so
would
maybe
you get
we'd
rid
clean
of?
house.
Who would I get rid of?
Yeah, in New Orleans, you get rid of one institution.
One institution?
Well, you could say person, but then you could be sued for saying that. So be careful.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anything to happen.
Ooh, what about those creepy cop cameras?
The creepy cop cameras.
But
Man,
those-
it's a pretty weird situation. A lot of things are weird out there. Would I say I wouldn't like outright get rid of any institution except for maybe a for-profit prison system. That'd be nice.
There's
get
one.
rid of
There we
that.
go.
Okay. The
That'd be
for-profit
kind of
prison
cool.
system.
No longer monetizing the imprisonment of people would be my number one.
Do we have much of that in Louisiana? Do you know? that?
Oh yeah.
We do.
Oh yeah.
Are you involved in that? Something to do with it?
No, directly? No.
Or even indirectly? How do you know about it? I don't know anything about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I have a lot of friends who are highly politically active, and I support them, and I go to events that they support, and we have I want to say the second highest incarceration rate.
It used to be number one.
Yeah, we were the worst.
I think we've kicked out a lot of people, and now we're down to
we
number two.
just went
Yeah.
down to 49th highest incarceration rate.
Well, in the
You mean the other
number
way
one
around,
in
yeah.
the world, the
Yeah,
number one is number 2 state and the number
All right,
one
as in,
country.
so when I say like, we were the worst
Yeah.
for incarceration, and now we're the second worst.
I think because we let out a whole bunch of people for crimes that were non-violent, like pot crimes or something.
I don't know.
And that made Oklahoma, I think, number one now. Is that right, Margee?
See, I mean, you want me to keep ragging on Oklahoma is what's happening.
No.
Why are you down on Oklahoma?
I'm not down on Oklahoma.
Okay.
I've actually never been to Oklahoma, so it'd be unfair for me.
Never been there?
I think I've been through a corner, like a literal corner of it on a road trip. I know nothing about Oklahoma, though.
Have you ever been there, Jacques?
I've driven to Nebraska, which is not
Like you're,
Oklahoma,
like,
but it was. I
basically
remember it being a
Oklahoma.
long drive. Yeah,
Right.
I have not. No.
So you were originally, you're from here, right? You're from Braithwaite, Louisiana.
A lot of people don't know where that is, but it's
Where is it? It's by
It's
Baton Rouge somewhere.
no. It's
Nowhere.
actually south of New Orleans, so it's in Plaquemines Parish, the
It's in
very northern
Plaquemines.
part of
Plaquemines.
Plaquemines, East Bank, not West Bank. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So you
actually
come-
lived in Plaquemines for a little bit.
Where?
I don't Bellchase.
Bellchase. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. No, we were
it's not
across the
fine.
river from
It's
Bellchase.
not fine. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Good citrus though, right?
I was about to say, you guys hold down the citrus.
Oh,
Plaquemines
yeah.
holds down the
They
citrus.
held down the citrus while I was there. Yes, but that's like
What were you doing there? Is it cheap or something?
no, man. My mom moved over there. My dad lives in around in St. Claude, but my mom moved over to Plaquemines. So I go
Is your
back.
dad a hipster, or was he there? Was he there from the get-go?
My aunt, my great aunt was there. She's been there for 70 years. Yeah,
She was ahead of the curve there. On that.
yeah. Well, from Honduras, she's
She's
thought
from
ahead,
Honduras.
Right? Yeah.
And where's your other family from?
My grandfather on my dad's side is from Cuba, and my grandmother is also from Honduras. Yeah.
Okay. So you're really you speak Spanish?
Not anymore.
That's a shame.
Not anymore.
Because
yeah.
Jacques speaks perfect Spanish, don't you?
I speak Spanish. I don't speak French, which a lot of people.
No, you
I speak
should
some
speak
French.
French
I know,
because your
it's
name is
sad.
Jacques Hebert.
You
Right.
greeted me in French, which I sadly could
So
not
you're the
respond.
Frenchman who doesn't
I speak
speak
Spanish.
Spanish. I'm the Spanish guy who speaks French.
Yeah.
Awesome. I
My
love
mom
it.
was from Guatemala, so I have family in
Très, très
Guatemala.
bien.
which
Très,
is-
très bien.
Yeah.
So, Josh, you speak perfect French? You
No,
speak-
no, not perfect French,
But
but I
some.
speak more French than Spanish. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Because I spent some time in France.
You did?
Yeah, playing.
What were you doing? Playing music?
I was doing, I actually dropped out of UNO after getting into a disagreement with the director of the classical program, and he said, sometimes you have to choose between music and music school.
Wow.
I was like, all right. So I took my...
Jeez, that's a weird saying.
Yeah,
right there.
so then
isn't it?
Sounds like something from a movie. That sounds like
doesn't
a
it?
scene in a movie,
Doesn't
and then
it?
you went to France.
So
Did he
I
say
did.
son after that?
And so I was like, all right, well, okay.
It's like you're Mr. Holland's.
Yeah, so I just took
Yeah.
all the money that I had, which was not very much, and I went to Paris for a month, and then I've gone twice since then.
So did you choose music over music school, is what you're saying, obviously?
Totally. Yeah.
Did you ever go back to music school?
Nope.
And you're still playing music?
That's
so
right.
Joke's on him. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, so pick up that guitar and play us something right now.
Right now?
Yes.
All right.
What are you doing musically these days?
Yes.
What do you?
All of
Because
it.
I've got this bio here that says that you're a rock and roller with an affinity for funk, blues, and psychedelic
Oh, yeah,
trips to outer
that.
space.
Dang, I forgot. I wrote that when I was in college still.
Okay.
I forgot
How
about
long
that
ago
one.
was that? That was for the 1 year that you were still in college.
What's up?
Is that the 1 year you were in college when you wrote this?
Oh, I actually graduated from Delgado with a degree in jazz performance.
Okay,
And I
so-
also graduated from Delgado in a degree, a certificate in technical studies of business entrepreneurship. That's right.
Oh, well, that's a pretty handy combo these days because you can actually make some music money in the music business.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that would be good. Have
Actually-
you figured out how to do that? Because that would be very helpful information if you could
It's
share that.
yes and no. It's yes and no. It's you can't.
Well, the no bit we've got down because everyone else says they can't make any money in the music business. What's the yes?
Well, it's music is a feast or famine sort of thing, and so you'll get a wave of shows, gigs, performances, tours, and it'll be great and fantastic. And then, if you don't continually book, then that wave passes you by, and you have like a lull period.
So you're doing all the business, your own business. You do.
I am.
You book everything and
All of it.
okay, and tune your own guitar. You don't have the thing, I see.
A tuner?
You're one of the few people who's come on the show doesn't have that little. You have to actually do it by ear, like an actual musician. That's very unusual.
Actually, my tuner just ran out of battery, so I'm just lazy. It's really,
Okay.
don't give me any credit for that.
All right, what are you going to play?
Actually, I still need to.
That does sound out of tune, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this one. It's the G string. It's always like that.
Oh,
Well, I'm also tuning through these headphones.
is that worse? You can take them off. We can talk among ourselves for a minute if you want.
Close enough.
What do you think?
Are
you musically inclined, Margee?
I'm not musically inclined.
Jacques,
in
you
that
come from a
language.
musical family with a name like Jacques Hebert. Surely someone
I have
plays the accordion.
Musicians in
Somebody
my
must do, like, a
family,
wash
but
tub
I
in your
never came.
family
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
It never rubbed off on me, unfortunately. I had
You-
some singers in my family.
Are they like? Is it a
Fiddles.
whole Cajun family?
Well, we're kind of I'm all kinds of stuff. So my mother was born in Guatemala. So
Oh, cool.
with the Louisiana family,
Guata.
half of it is from Plaquemines Parish, so they're kind of French Creole, and then my grandfather was from Homa, so they're Cajun. So it's the French Creole and the Cajun and the Guatemalan.
Well, that's a good combo.
So,
What's
yeah.
the food like over at your place then?
Oh, I mean, all kinds of things. A lot of like we would have like a lot of soups and stews and like kind of your classic. But then with the Guatemala, we'd get like meatball soup, oyster artichoke soup, just all that good
Do you
stuff.
cook?
I do, but for me, it's a process. So I'm not cooking every night, but when I cook, I really like to take my time with it, and I've started pickling things more, like
Pickling?
okra, and yeah. But
Do
I
you cook,
love
Margee?
December because that's the best time for like oysters.
Preserves.
And
Right.
sort of preserves. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't pickle oysters, do you?
No. Although I love
Can you?
pickled shrimp. I've had pickled shrimp before. Which
Pickled
is delicious.
shrimp.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Yeah.
That sounds
Pickled
weird. Can you
seafood.
pickle oysters?
You probably
I guess you
could,
can
but they
pickle
would
anything,
break
yeah?
down. There would be, they already have a texture to begin with. I think it'd be.
That would
it
be pretty
be
gross.
rough.
When they-
Yeah.
See
Sort
what?
of sounds like when you're like in a lab or something and they have animals in formaldehyde.
Right.
I
Yeah,
feel like that's
yeah,
what
that's
pickled
pickled
shrimp
oysters.
would be like.
Yeah, like a full snake.
You don't
Seventh
eat
grade
that out
science
there.
class.
I should just write a song about that.
Do you have a song about snakes?
Hit it.
No, I'm just.
We could do it now. Okay, everyone
Give me
can
let
contribute
the
a line.
alcohol kick in real quick before I start making songs about pickled shrimp.
Pickled shrimp. Pickled shrimp and pickled oysters. That could be a good opening line. Is it in tune, do you think? Close enough for rock and roll?
I think
So
it's all right.
I'll read you another sentence from your bio that you wrote when you were in college. It says that you attended various schools throughout adolescence, which is standard, I suppose. Did you get kicked out of schools?
No.
You just decided to
My
move.
mom moved a bunch,
She did? Okay.
a lot.
And it says Joshua always had an affinity for being melancholy, self-defeating, and angst-ridden.
Did I say that?
That's what it says right there. Did you write that?
This is a
Man,
bio
that is
that
a
was written in
long
college.
time ago.
That bio
Yeah,
was,
wow.
checks out. That bio was 100%
Yes.
written in college.
Yes.
Do you think everyone felt like that in
I
college?
think everyone
Past
felt like that in
me.
college.
What? Man, so sad.
I would
Not like that
maybe-
anymore.
I would ask, was it maybe written senior year of high school, actually?
No. Definitely but this was when I was still in Delgado for sure.
Well, have you moved on from melancholy?
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
cross that out, not melancholy.
Now past for being happy.
Okay, what about self-defeating?
Nope. Yeah,
You're over
cross that out. Yeah.
So how did you get out of being self-defeating? Because that would be a tough one to beat if you were
I
self-defeating.
hadn't gone to Europe yet.
You
When
hadn't gone to Europe.
Yeah.
So going to Europe helped you overcome your self-defeating tendencies.
Yeah.
What do you think was that? Because nobody knew you?
No, actually, all right. I'll be honest with you guys. There's really no way to say it except for that, I never really thought I would go anywhere. I really kind of firmly believed that I wouldn't make it out of New Orleans.
Right.
I saw a lot of violence growing up. Saw a lot of really scary things
In your home or on the street?
on the street. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know. I just was.
You thought you were going to be killed before you got anywhere?
Yeah, man.
Are you serious? You
Yes.
really grew up thinking you were going to be killed before you got amounted to anything?
Yes.
Where was this? What neighborhood were you in?
A lot of different neighborhoods. Yeah.
Shit, I've lived in quite a few neighborhoods all over the world. I've never thought that. Have you guys?
Well, you
ever
weren't a
thought-
kid.
No, but I feel very
You know-
privileged to have never thought I was,
Yeah. Jacques,
I
did you ever
believe
think you were going to be killed before you...
No, I mean, same thing. I grew up in Plaquemines Parish, a lot of nature, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where were you living in the city in New Orleans?
Like I said, I've moved all over the city. I'm not going to
Right.
say which part.
But in every place you lived, you weren't...
No. I just if you have, I mean, there's no way to say it. I mean, if you ever see a shooting,
Yeah.
especially if you're a kid,
Right.
it really messes with you, man.
You can't,
Yeah.
you can't quantify whether or not you're in threat or not
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
a child.
Exactly.
I mean,
It
you
just
know, when,
messes with you.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I think probably the craziest thing that ever happened was I was at an arcade once, and these guys robbed the arcade for buckets of quarters. I'm serious. I swear to
Yes,
you.
I believe.
Yeah. I was 10. And so stuff like that, just it's not no one got hurt, nothing
Right.
nothing crazy,
Right.
necessarily. It wasn't
But you didn't think, well, this would be cool. I could join the guys.
it freaked me out, It's freaked me
Right.
out.
Well,
So
that's
yeah,
pretty amazing. So then you went to Paris,
that's right.
and that's what turned you around.
Oh man, oh god, I love
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So self-defeating.
Every single
cross
day.
out.
Yeah. Before Paris, I was pretty moderate about everything. I didn't drink too much. I didn't smoke too much. I was pretty chill. And then I just went and I drank and I smoked every single day, several times a day, just all day.
You're from New Orleans and you were moderate about drinking and smoking, and you
Yep.
had to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's people come here for that, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, well, when I came back, I was like, well, actually, there's an experience that I had over there. And it was probably the best experience I've ever had. Where
Apart from being here right now.
yeah, right. This is so amazing. If I could trade Paris for this just to do this again.
Okay. What was the best experience you ever had?
Yeah, well, it was this really great moment because I was in Paris, having the time of my life. I was walking down the street 3 a.m, not worrying about getting shot because there's no guns there, and I was having the time of my life. But then I was something is really missing. So I'm wandering and wandering and wandering, and I can't find whatever it is I'm looking for. And I realized when I was turning down the street that it was I was looking for a brass band, music.
Wow.
And there's no brass bands there. There's no second line. There's no marching. There's no community like that. And it's a beautiful, wonderful, amazing place. And I have considered living there. But the reason I haven't moved away from New Orleans is the culture here.
Okay.
Which I wouldn't trade for anything. And so that was the whole big moment for
That
me.
was an epiphany. Oh, I thought you were going to say a brass band came down the street.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that
Weren't
be so
you waiting
good?
for that,
Right
Margie?
then. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, well, it didn't happen, and that's why I came back.
Right.
I actually someone offered me an opportunity to stay in Paris to play music, and I didn't have to come back.
Wow.
But that's one of the big reasons I decided to return.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was it a good decision?
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome.
All right. Well, you can't put it off any longer. Let's have a listen to something.
Oh, well, I'm going to play something completely different. I'm going to play a pop song for you guys that I
Okay.
wrote.
All right.
I wrote this song just to prove that I could write a pop song.
What's it called?
It's called Sailing. Yeah.
Okay.
What? Oh. I've never been sailing, for the record, but it's a like little pretty song.
Okay. Check it out.
So sailing along, going nowhere fast. You're such a rush just to hurry up and to wait. Yeah, 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 yeah. So don't let the sun set on a lonely night. So don't, you let, the sun set on a lonely, lonely ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. Got a tear in yourself, but no one is still while you patch it. A hole in your hope, but only 8 fingers and 2 thumbs to plug them all. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So don't let the sun set on a lonely night. So don't you let the sun set on a lonely, lonely ride. So what right this part of the ocean, man? The sky, you in such a rut, man. Ever think I just wanted your hand? Ever think that golden ship passing you by has got love on the side, but you got too much pride? I said, don't you let the sunset on a lonely night. So don't you let the sunset on a lonely, lonely ride. Oh, 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 oh. Don't you let the sunset, don't you let the sunset on a lonely ride.
Yeah. I love that. Wow.
Thank
How
you.
about that?
That's great.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It's shocking
It's
that
only-
someone could
it's
just
shocking.
Like, do that with that.
Incredible that you can be talking to this guy and you're sitting here like a normal person, and then suddenly you can actually pull that off. It's amazing, isn't it?
Thank you
Yeah.
for
You've got a
having me.
beautiful
What?
voice. You got a beautiful voice.
What? Really?
Yeah.
You want to know something else? Mm-hmm. The first show I ever played, this guy came up to me, right? He's like, who played guitar? And I was like, me. And at the time, I was like, way crazy into Hendrix. So I did all the stops. Like, I was just a teenager, I was playing with my teeth and under my leg and all this craziness. And he's like, you are awesome. You're so amazing. And I was like, thanks. And he's like, who is the singer? And I was like, why? It was me, but he didn't know that. And he's like, well, it's just between me and you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you should tell him to give up. And I was like, really? He said, yeah, he was horrible. He was terrible. And I was like, that bad? And he's like, yeah. I was the singer. And he looked me in the eyes. He's like, sorry, man.
Well, who is this guy?
I don't know.
Is he the
I've
same
never
guy
s-
that told you to choose between music and music school?
You know, maybe it is.
That was like him
Seems-
later.
Yeah. I think you've got a beautiful voice. You sound a
Thank
bit like
you.
sort of a bit like Van Morrison's.
All right,
sort of.
cool, whatever.
Wouldn't you think?
I've gotten all kinds of comparisons, you know,
What
whatever.
do people say? What do people say?
Oh, man. People were like, you sound just like Eric Clapton. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't even tell you the number of people I've been compared to, but
Right.
I finally like, I think of it this way. If you're comparing me to someone that you enjoy or love, then great.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you. You know?
I wouldn't call that a pop song either. Would you call that a pop
I
song?
wouldn't call it a pop song. I was kind of hoping you were going to do like Katy Perry.
I mean, it's acoustic pop for sure.
Is that what you call pop? I guess.
Like got a hook? Is that, I mean, what is the definition of pop, right? Is it
Like,
that
not
it has
top
like
40, but yeah,
right, but
yeah.
like by like it's like accessible, it's got a hook. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
asking
exactly,
you,
exactly.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like major key tonality.
Great.
Same 4
Writing
chords
it
the whole
down.
song.
Okay.
Okay, you're writing this down?
yeah.
All right.
yeah.
You really are.
It-
Four
the,
chords.
the intention of the song is not to be like musically challenging for the
Okay.
listener or the player. but it's just supposed to be like, oh yeah,
Easy
cool.
listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also upbeat, happy. You
I
know,
feel like a defining like moment of pop is that I probably could have like jumped in there with you from having listened to the
Sure.
first part and be like, I know where this is going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like,
It's
we're
relatively.
going to do the thing again about letting the sun set.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just supposed to
Okay.
be, swish 3-point.
Yeah.
If I play it at a campfire, everyone's gonna like it.
Is
Yeah.
that different
Guaranteed.
from what you normally play? Or
Yes. Yeah, I have a
Like
pretty
really
intense.
complex 45 chords.
No, I don't want to say
Minor
that.
key tonality?
Yep. Yeah.
Is that
hey,
real?
yep,
Okay, I just
it
made it
is,
up based
what?
on the other thing you said. I
Nailed
don't know
it.
anything about music.
Nailed it.
Great.
Hashtag nailed it.
Great.
So what sort of stuff are you normally doing? Like
I-
angst-ridden, self-defeating melancholy?
That I do have an angst-ridden, self-defeating melancholy album.
A whole album of it?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Right.
you've left that behind, though.
Yes.
So we're not going back there.
I mean, I
Hopefully.
would do it
For-
for
No,
fun,
no,
though.
I
but
mean-
for
What's the
fun.
name of that album? Say it.
That's a good question.
Pulp Deception. Yeah.
That was
Pulp
gonna be like
Deception.
I failed
Yeah, right.
or something. I don't know.
I do have a song on there about how nothing ever works out for me, but that
go.
was like before Paris, so it makes
yeah,
sense.
so forget that ever happened. So both you guys, Jacques and Margee, you're both improv actors as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we
yes.
both are improvisers.
side hustle,
Yeah.
improviser. Yeah.
You know, the very
Do you know
lucrative
each-
side hustle
Yes.
is improvisational comedy.
Did you know each other before you sat down here?
No, I think we know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
Right.
We like threw out some names like like Jacques was like, "Oh, do you know this person?" I was like, "I live with that person." And
Yeah.
Jacques was like, "Do you
Well,
know
I
this
heard you
person?" I was
talking
like,
about
"I live with that
my
person
about
too."
My
Cyrus.
former teacher.
Yeah, my
So you
roommate
and
Cyrus. Yeah.
So you and Cyrus are in some thing together. What's it
Yeah,
called?
we're in a thing called Dean's List.
Dean's
so
List.
it's Cyrus and I and our friend Caitlin, and
And
we
she
do.
was the person who ran for.
She did.
Senate.
Caitlin ran
She
for
was on
Senate.
this show.
Yeah,
She-
Caitlin ran for Senate, and we actually had an election party for Caitlin the night of the presidential election, which was just a bad party in the
She
end.
ran for. She ran for president. Is that what
She ran for
She was a
Senate.
senator.
Our friend Jessica actually purchased a sheet cake that said "Patriarchy Smashed" for
I
us
think-
to celebrate. And like at midnight, we just ate it with our hands and like
Oh,
cried.
that's awesome. I think we endorsed her on the show.
I hope you
I
did.
think I'm
She had a
pretty sure we
great
did.
platform. She had a
I
progressive
can't remember-
platform.
I can't remember anything about it, but who was she running against? Someone who was.
Oh, a lot of people. She was running against like a white supremacist.
yeah.
You know,
it was like 20 people were running for Senate.
Yeah,
or
there were a lot of
something. 'Cause it was
people.
an open seat.
It was an open seat, and I think that when she came up with the idea of running, it was like a pretty small pool. And then because so many other people had like a similar idea where they were like, "Oh, it's a pretty small pool. There's a good chance."
Right,
then
yeah.
it became like really
Right.
a lot of people. But you know, it was fun. I think we oscillated. Not we. I didn't like really do anything.
Were you on the
for it,
campaign?
but
Were you making
we, as her
speeches?
friend who sits on her back porch with her, sometimes I was like, "Is this a joke or not?" And she'd be like, "It is. It's not. It's in. It is. It's not." And I never really knew. But
Right. It seemed
but
like,
more
well, she's a
people need to
comi-
run for office.
Well, it seemed like because she's a comedian and she's running for Senate and she's obviously not going to win against whoever the hell she was running against.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you know, like I think
did
that
seem
getting
like a
a
joke.
progressive platform out there is like a really honorable. Like I think
Well,
when
now
you get
she-
a progressive
you know what?
platform out there, more people are like, "Oh, maybe
Right.
I'm progressive."
Well, now
right?
she might actually win this year
Right. Yeah.
she runs
well,
again.
I'll
Is
talk
she
to her
running
tonight
again?
about running again.
because progressive is where it's going now.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Talking
well,
of which, so you're some sort of an activist in the flower business.
So
Like an
I organize
organizer.
farmers. Yeah. You know, farmers are we're a class of people in this country that actually gets the short end of the stick pretty frequently. Agriculture is not.
That's an
Not
agricultural
doing
reference. of
well.
course.
Yeah, short end of the stick,
Stick.
exactly. I don't know what that reference that is actually an allegory for, and now I'm worried it's something problematic.
C-Rock will look it up. It's like
Yeah.
Mo Butter.
It's like more butter.
Mo Butter gets the short end of the stick. That could
yeah,
be the name
right?
of your album.
It's like maybe something bad, but yeah. So farmers, as a especially in cities, like really, it's a difficult profession to begin with. It's like a really intense physical profession, and as the world moves towards like an industrialized food system, and I include flowers in our food system because it's like agricultural products in general, right? And
Well,
as we
except for the fact we're not eating them.
we're not eating them, no, but
There are
they
some
are
edible
raw.
flowers.
There are edible flowers, and
they're
also they're
delicious.
a raw agricultural good, So as we move towards like a more industrialized agricultural system, small farmers and people who participate in like community, food and agricultural systems really get pushed out, and and there's not a lot of
Well,
like advocacy.
you guys have a lot of
policy.
questions about. I got a million questions about this.
Go.
Well, I didn't even know there were. I mean, I've been to obviously City Park and stuff.
Yeah.
When you see the beautiful flowers, but
Yeah.
I didn't know there were flower farms in New Orleans.
Yeah, we so the New Orleans Flower Collective is the name of the organization that I co-founded with 4 other farms, and so we're all really small scales in the city, organic for more or less. No one's certified, which is actually pretty common for farmers to not be certified but follow organic standards. And we have 4 member farms, but actually, like, since we got together years ago, which was an awesome moment where we all decided we wanted to like actually be friends, we've grown, and now there are like so many more flower farms. So we are 4, and we're the organizing body of that. Of the New Orleans Flower Collective, but since then there have been about 4 more farms that have popped up.
How many flower farms are there in New Orleans?
We have like 8 now, which is amazing. And that's,
8
I mean, when
people
I
making
say
a living. You're making a living out of
8
growing
people
flowers.
making. So what I do is I organize farmers as well. So I do a whole policy and teaching component because that's what I'm passionate about. But
on top of being a farmer.
on top of being a
flower
farmer. So I teach agriculture, and I work to organize farmers, and I work on our food system.
So you're out, but on a daily basis, you're out there growing flowers,
Yeah. So
weeding, and
days are
like
weird.
most people do, like on the weekend, if they
Exactly.
really have to on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, I'm going there. Like, this is how, I guess it's a weird, being an urban farmer is weird. Like, I'm going after this. So,
Right.
you schedule your day kind of crazy, but this morning I did meetings and emailing and, getting people together and planning lesson plans for teaching agriculture next year. And then after 5, I'm going to go out and,
Really?
and put on the
After the
booth
show?
and After the show,
After the show, you're going to have another couple of these drinks.
I'm
What
going
are
to
you
probably bring a
drinking?
beer with me.
Take a beer with you.
I
I'm going
wanna-
to probably bring a beer with me.
You wanna go, Josh? You wanna-
No, I just wanted to say I want to thank you also for bringing lovely flowers to the city of New Orleans, because I love flowers and I
Awesome.
appreciate them. And I want to play a flower party, like if you want to throw a party.
We do those, and we're
Oh,
always looking for musicians.
my band is so in right now.
Oh my God, yeah, we're always
Yes,
looking for musicians for
yes.
flower parties. So we do this I'm not just pushing it. Like, it's
No,
really
push
the
it.
most
Push
amazing
it.
thing. We do Mother's Day, and it's really like
Mother's Day.
our like flagship event for the Flower Collective. What we do is this market. And it's modeled to like try to actually create an open air like local flower market for all New Orleans farmers. When we started it, I looked at a picture this year. The first year that we did it, we had like 8 buckets of flowers, and we opened the doors at 10, and we had our friends make pop-up brunch, and we had like friends play music. Lots of lovely people. Like Helen Gillet has played music at our flower parties and stuff. Like, we have like cool. We'd love you to come.
Yes. I'm at the flower party.
You're in.
But so
I'm
like
in.
years ago we had 8 buckets, and then this year, before we opened the like gates to our flower market, now we've done it 4 years in a row, and people have made it sort of their Mother's Day tradition. And we ended up with, I think we were close to like 150 buckets of flowers for an open air market. We had like
Where is it?
We moved this year for the first time. We used to be at Press Street Gardens for the past 3 years. And this year we went to Clouet Gardens, right there in the Bywater. It's on Clouet.
Oh, yeah.
Right
I
near
live
Tigerman
on
Den.
Clouet.
Really?
Yes.
So we were at Clouet
So
Gardens.
easy. You're there. Yeah.
You gotta come play our flower
literally
brunch.
When is Mother's Day? Haven't we had that already?
Yeah, so we just did it, but the expansion that we've seen in 4 years from this like 8 bucket 4 farm
Right, that's
thing
impressive.
to like we had people coming. We had flower farmers come in from Lafayette.
Wow.
And bring
so
their
how,
flowers.
How does it work being a flower farmer here? Where's your places in New Orleans East? Is it cheap land out there? that
My
you can-
land, I'm very, very lucky to be. I'm super thankful that the Vietnamese Farmers Cooperative,
Right.
Veggie, I actually sublease a little piece of land from them. So they have a couple of acres out there immediately across the street from Mary Queen of Vietnam,
Okay.
the church out there, which is the landlord of the whole piece of property.
So you're
And
by Dong Phuong out there?
I'm somewhat near Dong Phuong. I'm
Do you
on
go
I'm
there
on Dwyer.
you go get a sandwich there once in a
I
while?
do get a sandwich, and it was that's on my way home, and so at Mardi Gras, like around Mardi Gras, I was
So it's
just like,
past
oh
Dong
my
Phuong, so you're-
gosh,
What?
the line was I've never seen anything
Really?
like that.
Well, they won some sort of award.
They won a
James
beard
Beard.
award.
Screwed
Yeah.
the whole thing up for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not for them. I guess I do think it probably got a little bit intense.
So I've got an idea
Yeah.
about New Orleans that all that land out there on the Ninth Ward, the lower Ninth Ward, that's
Mm-hmm.
completely empty,
yeah.
which could be farms.
Yes.
Has anyone talked about turning those into farms and orchards?
Yes. So
Weren't there a lot of farms there before?
there were a lot
If
of.
I'm not mistaken?
Actually, interesting thing about the lower Ninth Ward is that pre-storm it was the highest instance of black home ownership
That's
in
what I
America.
thought. Because we
yeah.
would
Well, now
drive
there's-
over there
but
all the
there's no
time.
homes at all there.
Their homes.
Well, there's
I think
very
there are
few. It's
areas that
lots
have
of
come
empty
There's
back.
space.
Yeah.
there is a lot of empty space and blight in the lower Ninth Ward. Land is one of the biggest issues facing farmers in the country, like countrywide,
Right.
urban and rural. We have like huge amounts of land loss, and it's disproportionately for people of color specifically. But like by and large, young farmers can't get land. And so it's interesting that you ask that about the lower Ninth Ward because there is so much empty
Right.
land, but a lot of it is tied up with, it's like city ownership. It's been transferred over to city ownership, or it's
Oh,
been
really?
transferred over to nonprofits. And a lot of those institutions don't want to let go of that land for good. What they want to do is have interim use of that land. And we've seen a lot of struggles in the city where people will try to create programs where farmers are interim use of property. In the city's zoning plan, the CZO, farming is actually defined as interim use, which is interesting because
weird.
farming requires a lot of like deep investment in like long-term infrastructure.
Right.
So it's just literally not interim use.
Just farm whenever you can,
Yeah,
It's like on
just
your
like-
off time.
just like pay thousands of dollars to
Yeah.
get water hooked up, like
Just
build
like
a building.
whenever it's good for you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's whenever.
Like farm, but like lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have a lot of organizations that after the storm, a lot of that land ownership was either, you have successions where people didn't know that they owned land or weren't capable of taking care of that land. And I think that we really vilify blight in this city, and we don't think about the human aspect of blight. And the fact that, like, a lot of the time blight's a structural problem.
Yeah,
People
that is true. But the
can't
lower
come
Ninth
back.
Ward, there's nothing left to be blighted. It's all gone.
I
It's
mean,
just
I think-
empty. There's just empty lots there.
You're right. There are lots of big swaths of empty lots, and those lots are often owned by organizations like NORA, Habitat for Humanity.
And what are they intending to do with all that?
That's a great question. I would love them to answer that.
I didn't realize that. So who owns it? Nora.
Yeah, you can go on the assessor's website and see pretty much who the ownership of any of those properties are. And after a certain point in time, they go to auction. After like a certain amount of liens
Right.
are on those properties.
But they're going to auction as lots. They're
going to auction as lots,
The ordinary
yeah.
sized lots that homes were standing on.
Exactly.
So that's no good. You need because it's a whole block.
Right.
It's totally.
So that
just
would
blocks and blocks.
require, which we've seen in a lot of cities, there's actually this like amazing program in Snowmass, Colorado. I think I'm saying it right. I met a woman who was a benefactor of it, but where they're taking large swaths of city land, and what they're doing is they're actually giving it to farmers for 5-year leases. And after a 5-year lease, which is not enough of a lease for a farmer, but after a 5-year lease, they're checking that soil quality is improved. And if soil quality is improved, it's a land trusted piece of land. It can never be anything but agricultural. Then that farmer gets to stay on that piece of land as long as they continue to increase organic matter in the soil, which, throwing it to Jacques, is a really great part of water management in our city. Like green spaces, like farms, are a huge part of water management. And also like taking away the density in housing is good for individuals. Like it's good for mental health, physical health. So
Okay.
more green spaces are really ideal for our city, and we need
Absolutely.
we need like people on the policy side of our city to be supporting green infrastructure like
Absolutely.
that. And currently, I'm very, very hopeful. We've actually had a lot of really cool city council members who are like putting some like weight behind this, but we really need a deep investment from the people at the top to say, okay, we do have all this land in New Orleans.
Right.
We're going to do the right thing with it. There are so many programs in the
But it's
country.
going to take
Detroit,
somebody is going to have to step up here and
Yes.
and articulate this
Really
and make
do
it
it.
happen.
Yep, that's what we
could
work on.
Well, couldn't it be you?
That is actually what we work on. So I work in a lot of capacities on like the policy aspect of agriculture, and with the FPAC, which is the Food Policy and Advisory Committee for New Orleans. That's a lot of the work
FPAC.
that FPAC is
Write that down, dude.
working to do. We're in the production working group. It's obviously divided out into working groups, and sort of advocating for good land use and
Well, this is
green
stuff. Do you know?
infrastructure is
Do you know about
important.
this, Jacques? Have you ever heard of this sort of stuff goes on here?
Somewhat.
Are you
yeah.
involved
I mean,
in this
we're
aspect?
more focused on kind of large scale coastal restoration. So
Bigger
building
picture.
like hundreds, thousands of
Right.
acres, in advancing those projects. But certainly on the water management side, I mean, Jacques Hebert, who used to be with the Chief Resilience Officer with the City of New Orleans and is now with the Water Institute of the Gulf.
No relation.
No relation, but an amazing guy. He likes to say we need to take a curb to coast approach, right? So you have to think about what's happening at your curb and the water that's happening, the water that you're dealing with at your curb, but also out to, our coastal wetlands. And any kind of coastal wetlands we can provide as a buffer outside the levees will certainly help reduce any pressure that we have, on those levees or if water gets into the city. So the other thing is, with flowers, with native plants, with gardens, it's wonderful for wildlife.
Yes,
right?
I was about to say the other way that our work crosses over is that flower farms and agriculture in general increases biodiversity and pollinator habitats. And right now, I think a lot of people are aware of the fact that we have pollinator problems. Like we have issues with colony collapse, and that bees.
This is bees.
Yeah, bees are incredibly important, obviously, to our food system.
This is a worldwide problem of some
Yes,
sort.
it is, and increasing biodiversity of pollinator plants is one of the ways that we can combat that. And so having more diversity of flowering plants in a city is incredibly important. Native plants, and actually increasing the genetics of our native plants is huge. And I farm on a swamp, literally we back up to a swamp. And
I will come out with a
you
kayak.
Should come out,
yeah.
And Veggie, which is the Vietnamese farmers cooperative, which is right next door to us. They're essentially we sublease from them. They have done a coastal restoration project recently that's really cool on our property, and also they're an amazing vegetable farm that everyone should check out. They make tofu.
Tofu doesn't grow though, does it?
Soybeans do.
It's made from What are you writing, Josh? You writing a song over here? Okay,
You're writing
cool.
a song?
I am, yeah.
Cool.
Inspired by the conversation?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Do
done
you want to
yet.
try it
You're
out?
not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
We've only got 10 minutes, so
Oh, what?
Well, I only need 2.
have you got 5 minutes? Do you want to try it, or you want another 5 minutes?
I don't need.
to write?
I don't need 5. I need a tune though. That's the thing.
You want to tune it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all can keep talking.
Okay, we'll keep talking
Keep
while
talking
you
while I
tune.
tune.
So similar to, the plants and the native plants and, gardens will bring birds. I mean, it's a similar thing with coastal restoration, right? I mean, the brown pelican is our state bird, and it had severe declines in the 60s and 70s because of DDT. That's kind of been addressed and the population's rebounded, but also these brown pelicans depend on these bay islands that are nearly disappearing.
Right, so they've got nowhere to land or breed.
And so you'll see, there have been restoration projects like Elmer's Island, which is on Caminada Headlands down south in Lafourche near Jefferson. They rebuilt the island. It was a $216 million project that was funded by settlement from the oil spill. But immediately after that project, they had more least turn colonies than ever before. And obviously that project also protects communities. It protects, infrastructure from storm surge. And so there are these multi-layered benefits to, to restoration that's not just about wildlife or putting land on the map. It's about kind of the protection for humans. It's about biodiversity and all of those things. And we're kind of experiencing a little bit of our biodiversity is shrinking because we're losing kind of freshwater areas, freshwater marshes. Right. That's alligators. That's waterfowl. That's all the things.
Well, that's my point at the beginning of this conversation is what if we just give up? What if we don't do anything and we just learn to live with it?
Towards that. Well, I think
are we really going to all be wiped out, or was it just going to stop at some point?
No,
like
I think
St.
we're
Charles
all going to
Avenue.
be.
I think we need to. We'll take you on a flyover, and you can see areas that are building land. You can come.
Thank you.
We can go out to the Wax Lake Delta. It's an area of the only part of the state that's actually gaining land, or one of the few areas. And so the thought is hey, that's happening there. We just need to recreate it in more places and do it fast. So,
yeah. I think one of the things that occurs to me about giving up on it, right? Of course, I'm advocating that we don't give up on it, and I think the thing is, as we lose that land, we lose so much more than just literally that land. Mm-hmm. We lose the biodiversity out there, and as our genetic pools get smaller, both in flora and fauna, us included in fauna, bad things happen.
Are we fauna?
We're fauna.
Are we charismatic megafauna?
We're charismatic megafauna.
I have to write that down. Charismatic megafauna.
We're fauna that can lie.
Where did that come from?
I gotta somehow add
my
this.
scientists have taught me well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Where did that come from, that term? Charismatic megafauna. Is
I
that
have
a scientific term?
I have no idea what the origin of it is, but it's
megafauna.
Well, I think it means
megafauna. We're large.
Fauna.
We're large fauna.
And you're left-handed as well.
Charismatic because God look at us.
Fauna.
F-A-U-N-A. Great.
Sometimes you've got to choose between fauna and music school. Okay, so how's your song coming on? What's it called?
Charismatic Megafauna.
I like that
Is that
too.
the name of the song?
That should just be the name of the band. That's a pretty good band name.
I think
That
there is
is.
a band named Megafauna.
Is there?
I believe.
Yeah, but is it a
C-Rock will tell you
charismatic?
in 1 second about that.
There's one called Megaphone.
Oh, I think there's.
Yeah.
I think we have. Do we have a
Charismatic.
research team back
Charismatic
there?
sounds religious.
I think there's
doesn't it?
a band called Megafauna that's like a punk band out of Austin.
Yeah, they're from Austin.
Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
Good job.
Good job. Okay, we got
Well,
it.
then it'll be charismatic mega funky. How about that?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a sort of a New Orleans twist on it.
Yeah. Well, surprise.
Okay, let's have a listen to what you've got so far.
So far, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready, but because it's just like a jumble of words. But I guess you see.
Let's see. This is the.
Oh, this one string is killing me today. I don't know what you're doing. Killing me.
All right.
You're killing me, Smalls. All right. Oh man, this is nerve-wracking. I don't know why.
It's a lot of pressure.
Oh, well, I know why. Because it's a song I've never even played before.
All right. You've only been mulling it around in your mind for the last 10 minutes.
Here we go. Not
Okay.
even 10 minutes.
Not even. All right.
All right, I gotta pick the tempo and everything. How do I want to do this? That feels right. Mm-hmm. We'll see how it goes, though. Jacques gonna take you on a flyover, show you how to restore the coast. Jacques gonna take you on a flyover and show you how to restore the coast. Convince the cynical Garrett of the Happy Hour podcast show. More butter, can we get more flowers to save the bees? Ha! More butter, can we get more flower farms? Or to save the bees? Ha! Yes, please, I can tell you will, with the way you're smiling at me, yeah. See you on Mother's Day, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, the charismatic megafauna. I don't even really know what that means. Someone pull it up on Wikipedia. The charismatic megafauna. I don't really know what that means. But Jacques is over here pulling it up on Wikipedia. I just like to have a good time with my friends on this here podcast media.
Okay.
I didn't have a third verse, you know.
Well, you got most of it in. I got to say, that's the first.
That was super impressive.
That's the first show we've ever had an actual song written about the show.
Yeah.
On the show.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty good job, I'd say.
Now there's a song about both of you.
Yeah.
And you're in
Josh
it.
This
Benitez, we're
moment.
all in it.
This
I love
moment
it.
is forever.
We have our own theme song
Yeah.
for our own show.
We can only ever listen to it again if we're all together.
And just
Yeah.
so you know, charismatic megafauna are large animal species with widespread popular appeal. such as elephants, giraffes, lions, tigers, pandas, polar bears, etc.
Oh, hence
So I
that.
don't
Not
know.
big snakes.
I don't think big
Well, that's what the
snakes-
definition of charismatic is, I guess,
Right.
because they have
Wait.
popular appeal.
Wait,
Those
can
are
I-
You can fit
reviled
that in, okay.
megafauna.
Wait, no,
It's used by environmental organizations to highlight the needs of the environment through the species. So that's where the charismatic comes from. So the alligator, I think, would be our charismatic, one of them in Louisiana.
I feel like I actually have like a visual representation of like the most loved animals and the most hated animals as like a piece of wall artwork, and I think alligators are on hated.
Why? They're
they're
so awesome.
They're reviled,
They're dangerous.
or reviled
No,
megafauna.
they're very docile. Oh, well, I
They're
mean,
lovely. I
yeah.
love them. I'm just saying. I
They're
think
docile. Alligators
You
are
gotta
docile.
take
I mean,
Can
if
we
you
quote you on
if
that?
you don't bug them, they're fine. You
Well,
know.
so is everything.
Super cool.
Well, right.
Even
Yeah.
Hitler was probably okay on a good day.
Well, all I know. I mean,
Well, I don't know about that.
that might be a step.
I might be, okay, that's,
a bit of a stretch. Bit of a stretch. I
but
wouldn't.
you know, most animals don't do anything to you if you don't mess with them.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably true.
But alligators aren't that cuddly or charismatic.
I mean, you shouldn't cuddle them, but they shouldn't be similar to snakes. I think people have a thing with a fear with. I never liked
Cats
snakes.
will
growing
mess
up,
with you.
but-
You know, if I had to
Cats.
really say probably like the scariest thing about those kinds of animals, it's that like snakes, spiders, alligators. Oftentimes you don't see them when they're most dangerous to you. Like if you see an alligator, you're like, oh, that's crazy, but you're not worried about it. But like if you're swimming in a murky water, you're like, oh man, this is pretty scary. Like that's why.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm just pointing at Alison.
Oh,
just for
hi,
fun.
Alison.
Alison, come over here. We have to say, before we've got to get out of here in 1 minute. Alison, grab this microphone here.
Okay.
Give Alison this mic. This is Alison Moon, our photographer, everybody.
Hello.
Hey,
This is
Alison.
Alison's last day on the job. She's going to grad school at Oxford,
Wow,
England.
congratulations.
She's a little overqualified for this job here.
I wouldn't say so.
That's awesome.
So this is goodbye for how long? Forever.
I will be in school. It's only a year program. I need to be there for at least 9 months. When I'm writing my thesis, I can come back, but we have to see
So
how
these
that
are
goes.
all real hardcore New Orleanian, Louisiana people here. What's your thesis going to be about?
I have no idea yet. My major is
International
going to
relations.
be a Master's of Science in International Management and International Relations. So something to do with sustainable technologies and hopefully saving the environment.
Get
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to invite y'all out after drinks for this because I was like, I want to talk to y'all about what y'all are doing more
Well,
in
and
depth.
Come back because we need more people that are
Yeah.
passionate about that, working on these issues.
Yeah,
Get
London
back
has
here
like
in 9 months.
yeah. There's plenty of green land over there. You got to come back over here, man.
It's pretty exciting, though. We were very proud of you, even though we're sad to lose you.
Yeah, it's been fun working with y'all for I think it was but 4 years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
now.
it's
4
been a
years
while.
we've been doing this.
It's been a pleasure to get to meet everybody from New Orleans on this show. I've made so many friends. If y'all ever have been thinking about being on this show, you really should come out and do it because you meet great people.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. It's been going to be sad to lose you after all this time.
I'll
Well, can
come
you
back
send
and
us some
visit.
photos back?
Yes, I will.
And do you have anything to get rid of still? I saw
My
on-
car, if you're
Just
looking
the car.
for, I have
What
my
is it?
car. It is a 2004 Toyota Camry running so
You're looking
well.
for a car,
And I
Margee?
actually hate parting with it because I love it so much, but I can't bring that overseas with me.
I gotta say, I'm gonna endorse Allison's car real quick. That's a great car,
It's
y'all.
a great
Okay.
car.
You're
It's got
thinking
a
about getting a
sunroof
sedan.
and leather seats. It's on Craigslist right now, y'all, so go find it.
Okay, how much is it going for?
I'm trying to get $5,000 for it because it's in like tip-top shape.
Okay. And that will take you a long way over there
Oh yeah.
in grad school. I think 5,000.
Hopefully. It's England, though. It's really
things
expensive
It's like
out
what
expensive
there.
over
curry
there.
costs. in
It's
England.
very living costs. Y'all think
Curry.
living costs in New Orleans is bad? In Oxford, England, which is living costs in Oxford, England, is more expensive than in London right now.
Is it right?
Really?
Why is that?
Yes,
Dang.
it's like drastically ridiculous out there.
Hey, can you hook Alison up with anybody in Paris, Josh?
Yeah.
I have a friend in Paris too.
You
so.
went to Paris. You were there in Paris during the whole.
Yeah, during the terrorist
terrorist
attacks. I was so like
Well-
you were talking about you like didn't feel like you were going to get shot at when you were in
Yeah.
Paris. I was there during the terrorist attacks.
Which is like unfortunate and really scary.
Yeah.
Though I will say statistically, it's still safer.
Yeah.
Like still, which is yeah.
It was.
But I'm really sorry
I'm gonna
that-
try to go back when there's no terrorist attacks going on.
Well, I think you're like in the statistical like a majority. Like you're.
You pull
Most
it
people
off.
want that for themselves. Yeah.
Now that's like it sounds pretty much any time is a good time,
Yeah.
except for that really unfortunate one time for that's.
Well,
yeah,
take care of
really
yourself
tragic.
this time, Alison. Don't get
I'll
involved
keep
in any
listening
terrorist
to the
activity.
show.
You can listen to it over there.
Yeah.
What time of the day is it over there, I wonder?
I think we're
like
there
8 hours
about.
later?
I think it's only about 6 hours ahead, maybe
Oh, so
6
that's
or 5 hours
perfect.
ahead.
So on the 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening.
When I'm brushing my teeth to go to bed,
Yeah.
I'll be listening
You
to
can
Happy
smoke
Hour.
your last joint and check out Happy Hour and then go to sleep. Perfect.
perfect.
Do they smoke a lot of weed over, mostly hash over there?
I don't know.
haven't looked into
I
that?
haven't
That'd be
been
the
there yet.
That'd be the first thing I'd look into before I move, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure
Josh will hook you
the
up.
students that I'll meet there will keep me informed on those
Yeah, we can probably-
issues.
Well, you can report back about that.
I will.
Okay. Alison, good luck.
Thank you.
And we'll miss you.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yay.
And we'll talk to you from the other side of the world. Okay, you guys, that's pretty much it for today. I just have to tell you one thing before we get out of here, and that is for the last 80 years, do you know about this?
No.
Door
not
Furniture has been serving retail customers throughout the greater New Orleans area from its home base on Elysian Fields in the Marigny, as well as the finest quality furniture from brands like Stickley, Century, and Flex Steel. Doors designers can customize pieces for your home. They'll come to your house. And do you have like a cool looking place at your house, Jacques? Do you need
Do I? Well,
furniture assistance?
It's pretty full. We have a small single shotgun house,
Okay.
but no, I love Door. My grandparents used to go there, so
Okay.
it's a good place.
There you go.
Yeah,
They'll come to you. This guy will actually come to your house
and they'll
and
do it
advise
for
you
you
for free. For free. They come out there and tell
Amazing
you
service.
It's pretty cool.
You got to support your New Orleans institutions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll come
I
and
think they have
organize it.
couch insurance. I'm just throwing
Couch
it out there.
insurance.
I'm pretty sure
Whoa.
they have couch insurance.
That's pretty good.
That's great.
That's
That is
actually pretty
interesting.
good.
Like with my life?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, if you're on the North Shore as well, Door Furniture recently opened a second location in Covington, and Door Furniture is as New Orleans as it gets. Also thanks to Strategic Resumes. If you want to sharpen up your resume or your LinkedIn profile or your other job search skills, give them a call at Strategic Resumes or find them online if you want to get away. Start your holiday search by going to Travel Central and Metairie, which is kind of like going to Expedia or Kayak, except somebody else will do it for you and it's totally free. That's Travel Central and Metairie. Do you not realize that? That's what a travel agent is.
No, I thought you paid travel agents.
No,
It's just not
free.
it's nothing for our generation, but it sounds like it should be.
Travel Central and Metairie will do it for you for free. Also, Andrew Duhon's not here today, but you can find out his new record called False River on Spotify and anywhere else you steal music. It's available if you'd like to actually buy it. Of course, you could do that as well. You can find Andrew by going to andrewduhon.com. And that's been Happy Hour for another week. My guests have been Jacques Hebert, Margee Green, and Josh Benitez. It sounds like a law firm, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining us, you guys.
Thank you.
We'll get back a year from now, right here, and have a reunion.
Into it.
And listen to our song.
I'll read the
Listen to
third
us-
verse.
Okay, you have a
There.
third verse done by then. Thanks again. Our show is produced today by Graham DePonte. Alison Moon is our associate producer. Christian Unreal is our music director. And Monique Pyle is our associate music director. Thomas Walsh is our technical director. And today's show is engineered by Garrett Pittman. Asher Griffith is our Facebook Live feed director who put this whole thing on Facebook Live. Our fact checker and social media connector is Andrew Searock. And our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about 60 minutes while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com, where you can find many other hours of Happy Hour that we recorded previously, as well as some other shows we make around here. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, and our award-winning show about death, called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and it's batonrouge.la, and you can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. These photos were taken, as you know, by Alison Moon. For the very last time, you can find more of Alison's photos at alisonemoon.com. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thanks for subscribing to us. Take a moment if you've got one to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hours, a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everyone else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, I'm Grant Morris. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
Venus your style guide for fun, sexy style, is getting you ready for shorter days and cooler weather during the annual Venus Fashion Week event. The new Venus Fall Fashion Collection has arrived, and it's a perfect time to get amazing deals on new styles that have made Venus famous from weekdays at the office to weekends on the town. Shop hundreds of new fall styles and get $15 when you spend $100, $30 off when you spend $150, and $50 off when you spend $200 or more. Just go to Venus.com or download the Venus app and use the promo code SWEATER to save during the last days of Venus Fashion Week.